Welcome to Recently Logged, where Isabella, your boyfriend's here.7-foot frame, rats along his back. When he calls your name.
How come we didn't do this for? How come we didn't do this for In the Heights, Micah? That's
because this is way more catchy.
Well, hello everyone. It's us. We're back again. Like it or not, here we are, and we're ready to talk about the latest film from Walt Disney Animation Studios. If you can even believe it.
That's pretty crazy. I didn't even know they made movies. I thought they just made theme parks.
Well, you know, things happen. Capitalism and whatnot. You got to make money somehow, Mike. But yes, my name is Robbie.
And I'm Micah.
And we're going to talk about Encanto. The latest film, as we've stated, is from Disney. Walt Disney Animation Studios, not from Pixar.
Yeah.
The releases get a little fuzzy.
Surprisingly, Disney put out like a good release.
What? Hold on a second, Micah. It's Disney making a good movie? I don't think so. That's never happened.
But yeah, Encanto.
Yeah, we're here to talk about it. It's one of my favorites from last year.
Which would just happen.
Which just happened, yeah. This is our second
January.
This is our second episode of the year, so I guess we'll just go ahead and talk about the basic facts of the movie.
Basic facts of Encanto. It's been a while since we've done like a full structured episode.
Yeah, and get you guys informed on the picture, the movie, the film.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so the basic facts of Encanto brought to you by IMDb.com.
I was going to say brought to you by someone who doesn't speak Spanish.
Yeah, brought to you by somebody who can barely read.
Yikes.
Encanto is a 2021 film rated PG. It's an hour and 42 minutes. Its little IMDb description is: a young Colombian girl has to face the frustrations of being the only member of her family without magical powers.
Yes.
The cast... oh boy, here we go. The cast consists of Stephanie Beat. I don't know how to say her last name actually, and I've
Beatriz.
heard her last name.
I don't know.
Beatriz, maybe.
That's how I would assume. Is it gonna be like this for everyone?
Yes. María
Cecilia
Botero.
Yes.
Ao.
You just gotta go for it.
I don't know how to pronounce his last name either. John
Leguizamo?
I feel like it would be Leguizamo.
Leguizamo? I don't know.
He's a cool guy.
Yes, I was going to say I like him in movies.
Directed
usually.
by Jared Bush, Brian Howard, and I forgot this. She was credited as a director.
She's a co-director, I believe.
Yeah. I don't know how to say her name.
Wait, who is it? Charise Castro Smith,
which also wrote it.
Yes,
along with the other two, Jared Bush and Brian. They all wrote and directed it.
Together. Whoa, written and directed by, but it's 3 people.
And the music is composed by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
What about the other composer, Mike?
I don't remember the other composer.
If you're gonna credit one composer, credit the other.
Listed, okay.
Okay, fine.
It's just
it's down in the description too. Germaine Franco, I assume.
Yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda did the musical numbers.
Yes, he did the musical numbers.
She did
the score. Very good. I like it. Yes, that's really the main cast, and I mean Lin-Manuel Miranda is a real draw for this movie, basically just due to his popularity. But yeah, there it is.
That is in Encanto.
Well, thanks for listening, guys.
I hope you guys had a good...
Catch you in the next one.
That's all we have for you.
Now we're gonna go over what we thought of the movie, Micah.
Whoa.
In a movie discussion podcast, we're going to talk about the movie.
That's crazy. I don't think we should do that.
Well, it's too late, Micah. We've already committed. So, Micah.
Those caterpillar.
No, Micah.
Being so crazy. I don't know any of the words after.
I don't know any of the words to the song, Micah. I've only seen the movie like 3 times, I think. Yeah, 3 times.
3 times.
So, Micah.
Yes.
What did you think of the motion picture animated film Encanto?
I hate it. No, I didn't hate it.
He has a burning hatred for Encanto.
Well, it's actually interesting, I will say, like right off the bat. First time I watched this movie, like I wasn't a big fan of the plot. And like that has never really gone away. Like I like the movie and I like the plot, but like I've never really gotten behind like how the plot is fully executed. That's like my only problem with it. Like I just don't get as connected to the actual like plot as I would like to.
That's fair, I guess.
But the music, outstanding. The characters, outstanding.
Yeah.
Like 90% of the movie, like of what's happening is really fun and creative. The animation's always really bright and like, I don't know, it's really, really good.
Yeah.
I just, especially on the first watch, it's gone away more and more as I've watched it. It didn't fully connect with me.
Okay.
I mean, it comes from a very personal place for a lot of people who like actually have a lot of family trauma.
Yes.
Which I do not.
Yeah. I mean, is there anything else you wanted to add, Micah? Nothing.
I mean,
he likes the music.
you were just like, what do you think?
What do I think of Encanto? I really, really like it. It's one of my favorite Disney animated movies, like in a while, maybe ever, really, honestly. At least in their solo efforts, like if you're not counting Pixar. But yeah, it's got really visually creative animation, great character writing. I love like the entire main cast. It's great. They're great. I don't know. It's great. I don't know what to say about it really.
Or he's like, well, it's
a great movie. I actually really like how sort of unconventional of a screenplay this is for Disney.
Yeah.
Like even compared to something like Moana, Moana is such a generic screenplay.
Yeah, like Moana is just like a quest movie.
Yeah,
it's really
honestly,
the very simple.
Just about every Walt Disney animated movie I can think back on has a very you're going to learn how to write about this in film school structure.
Yeah, like and typically for Disney in the past too, it's either been like watch this character go on kind of this big expedition or watch this romance story happen.
Yeah, that's pretty much all of them.
And this is neither.
This is not that. So I do admire it for that. I love the music. I mean, it has a really good emotional core to it.
Yeah.
But as Micah said, it's rooted in a lot of familial trauma. So I guess it makes sense that it rings as true as it does. But I really love it. So I guess, Micah, do you have any questions to help our discussion?
Let's
go a little deeper.
Punch in more. Sink deeper into the web of lies and misfortune that is Encanto.
Wow. We're becoming a true crime podcast now.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Sure, let's come in with something like a little light, a little simple, a little fun. Okay. What's your favorite song from Encanto?
Okay, are we saying favorite song or favorite musical number in the movie? Because like I could just pick like my favorite song to listen to, or you could pick my favorite song to watch.
Both?
It's probably the same either way. I just wanted to specify. It's gotta be We Don't Talk About Bruno, I think.
We don't talk about
it's
Bruno.
really well storyboarded, well shot. It's got such a good melody. It's got a great structure. It's really fun. It's inventive. It's funny, and it's informative. My God,
right? And shout out to any song, and I do mean almost any song that does the whole have a bunch of different people singing in different patterns over the same musical thing, and then have them all come together.
Kind of a medley, Mike.
I don't know what it's called. I'm not a music man.
Not a music man.
But I love that in musicals.
Yes.
It's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, it was very good.
But yeah, I mean, like, I think just about objectively, almost everybody's been like, yes, We Don't Talk About Bruno is the best song. And I genuinely think it's one of the best songs Lin-Manuel Miranda's ever written, ever.
Oh,
over
yeah, I
all
would
of
say
his
so.
musicals.
I would say so.
But I do want to shout out to Family Madrigal.
Yes.
Because that's a really good song, but like it's just not quite to the caliber of We Don't Talk About Bruno in like every way. Like the storyboarding isn't quite as tight, and the song isn't quite as tight.
I was about to say the choreography for that song isn't nearly as fun and inventive as.
And you have the annoying kids.
Yeah, I was about to say because Family Madrigal was actually my second pick. That would easily be my second pick.
Yeah, that's my second favorite song.
But the kids just annoy me in this movie, man.
And like it was actually interesting. We watched it with like our whole family the first time because it came out around Christmas time.
Yeah, right around Christmas.
And my sister, like, who isn't like a big movie connoisseur, she was on our Igor episode, believe it or not.
Yes.
Was like, man, these kids seem kind of try hard-y.
They're so try hard.
And they're extremely that. Like even for somebody who doesn't watch a lot of movies, you could just like tell that these kids, they don't have to be here. Snipe the kids out of the movie, and the movie would not change. And they're kind of annoying. Yeah,
I mean, they're just there. They're supposed to be like fun and funny and keep things moving during the beginning, but
yeah, and I think that's one of my biggest problems with Family Madrigal as like a song in general.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of like the framing of most of the songs, it's completely different.
It is
like most of the songs' framings are just like, oh, these characters are going to start singing in the meta narrative, like, you know, musicals.
Yeah.
But in this one, it's one of those kind of musical songs where like it's being sung directly to the audience and to the kids.
Yeah, it takes place in the actual narrative. They're actually singing a song.
So like it's weird.
Yeah, I had a really good idea, a really good parallel with another musical that does that, but I don't remember. But
it is still like a fantastic to listen to song. Yeah. It's just like, and I really like how like the end kind of gets faster and faster. Yeah. I like that in songs a lot too, and does a pretty decent job of getting you into a big like massive family.
Yeah, I was about to say the fact that on my first watch I wasn't really confused on any of the characters or what they did,
because they say it like 5 times in the song, which is really smart.
Good, yeah.
That's a really fun way to deliver exposition naturally.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I was just admiring because I have such a terrible memory. I was just admiring the fact that it was actually able to get me to remember all of the characters.
Right. No, nothing against Family Madrigal. I just wanted to talk about those kids.
Yes. The kids. They're always screaming something.
Right. Like, yeah, I wouldn't have a problem with the kids if every line delivery wasn't like, oh my gosh, is that headphones?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, anything else you want to mention about the music while we're talking about it?
I really like that they had, like, I guess that Disney let them do a song pretty much mostly in Spanish. I respect that.
About time.
I'm a really big fan of like foreign movies, even if I haven't watched that many in total in my, like, I really, really like listening to foreign language movies and like, you know, getting different culture with them.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's so many people in modern audiences that are like, ooh, if it has subtitles, I'm not watching. It's so annoying. And they were like, okay, how about we put a song in Spanish with no subtitles, because guess what? Foreign language stuff is really easy to interpret even without subtitles.
I was about to say it's Colombian, it's from the Colombian section of the world. Most people in America speak a lot of the languages that are spoken there.
Right.
It shouldn't be that difficult.
But no, I've watched a couple foreign language films without any subtitles, and it's not that hard to pick up, even if you don't fully understand the language, because filmmaking is filmmaking.
Yeah, exactly. If it is a well shot movie, hopefully you can understand everything just about without any dialogue whatsoever.
And the song is really beautiful.
Yeah.
And I do think it's interesting the way the song plays out over the narrative.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
And I don't know how I feel about it. Every time it's come around, I don't know how I feel about it, because it's a really beautiful song, and I really like that emotional beat that it hits. Mm-hmm. But it's also kind of weird because Abuela's and spoilers for
spoilers
Encanto,
for Encanto,
I guess, which we usually do anyway.
Yeah.
Abuela's "Oh, I'm sorry, Mirabel, I murdered the family," or something like that.
Wow.
And then they're let's reminisce on these past memories, and it just flashbacks while the song goes. And it's kind of weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not what I expected the movie to do, but it actually hits really well.
The emotional beat hits. It's just a weird, creative decision.
Unexpected.
But yeah, no, I just wanted to shout out to that song because I like songs that are put in, with no subtitles.
Micah just likes songs written for the original motion picture soundtrack. Those are his favorite kind of songs.
It's true. No.
Oh man, they usually suck so hard, but this one doesn't. So.
Do you have any other thoughts on music?
On the music, I like how lively it is. I like how informative and character driven almost all of the musical numbers are. I like the choreography in almost every musical number. It's just a really solid musical.
Yeah, I mean, I will say that it did make me kind of sad to not get a song from Camilo or something like that.
Yeah,
just to and this was something I wanted to talk about later, but the songs kind of play into that, so I figured I'd bring it up.
Yeah, why not?
Look, Isabel has a song, Lisa has a song. Yeah. Mirabel has a song. She has several songs.
Several songs, yeah.
But outside of that, because of how fast and chugga choo choo the movie is going.
No, it's really well paced.
It's extremely well paced, which I'm not complaining about how well it's paced, but it goes really fast.
Yeah.
It doesn't give me as much connection to all of the family members as I would want, because and I say this only because the family members are done so well that I really want to spend more time with them.
They're interesting enough that we want to spend more time watching them. That's the complaint.
In any other movie, I'd be who cares about Camilo? He's kind of stupid. But in this movie, I'm no, give him more screen time, give him a song, give Bruno a song. I want to hear Sid the Sloth sing, even though he can't sing.
Even though he can't sing, yes.
I wanted to spend more time fully getting to know the family, because a lot of times after Family Madrigal, they're here's their traits of powers, and then you just have to kind of pick up, which is pretty accurate to it feels very real as a family.
Yeah, definitely.
Going throughout everything, you're never feel any of the family dynamic is forced, and you see the family very much as a family. And I think that's cool. It's just sad because I want more.
Honestly, you bring that up. That's honestly, I think, my biggest complaint with this movie is that we just don't get more time with all of the characters, honestly. The fact that it's an hour and 40 minutes long and I'm complaining that it feels a little rushed is really a testament to how good this movie is.
No, and that was the thing. I came out of this the first time and was whatever,
man.
And then I thought about it.
I don't give a crap about it.
And that very statement, the fact that it's an hour and 42 minutes.
Exactly.
And it feels rushed. I just thought about that and I was dang.
that is good character writing right there.
This is just a step above every other Disney movie that's come out recently. And I wanted to mention too, it's not really having to do with the music, but Brian Howard is he's a Disney director. He's done other things before.
Yeah.
He did Tangled. With somebody else.
Speaking of pacing.
Which is crazy because Tangled has a lot of the same elements that I would attribute to like being really good about Encanto.
Yeah, great music,
like,
great characters.
Encanto
Yeah.
steps like 30 miles ahead of it by just having competent pace.
Exactly, yeah. Good scene-to-scene pacing, good just story beat pacing. Yeah.
But he also did Zootopia with, again, somebody different.
Zootopia is also really well paced.
He's co-directed every movie he's done, I think,
Shout out to Zootopia.
with somebody different every time.
I mean, you gotta expand your director's palette, Mike.
But shout out to Brian Howard for being involved with 4 of my favorite Disney movies.
Not Bolt.
I love Bolt.
Bolt.
Bolt is so much fun.
Oh no.
Bolt is beautiful.
I don't know about all that. But yes, yeah, really, really a testament to this movie's quality, honestly. And I want to say like it has grown on me the more I've watched it, but I kind of like adored it the first time I saw it. So
Yeah, I think like
that holds a little less weight, I think.
it grew on me a lot the more I thought about it, and then I rewatched it without everybody.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah.
You got to experience it in the void. Am I?
No, I do really like forgetting a critical opinion on something, like watching something a lot more by myself.
Oh yeah, no, I it's so freeing because there's no like outside pressure to feel some way about something.
Yeah, you just consume the movie
Yeah,
for how you would consume
you just
the
take
movie.
the movie and you soak it in.
But yeah, and then
Yes.
like the third time we watched it, which was with everybody again, because like all of my family really liked this movie.
Whoa, crazy.
Crazy. And I don't know, I really love it. Like I genuinely think almost every element of it is kind of just like a step above most Disney movies. I
Yeah.
put it on the same tier as like my top tier Pixar movies.
It's kind of crazy, honestly. Like, I don't know what I expected. Like, going into this, I actually didn't really have any expectations for it.
Believe it or not, going into this, I was kind of like, oh, here we go again.
Here we
Because I
go.
was kind of Lin-Manuel Miranda'd out, especially
See,
after
I didn't know it was his like music when I went into it, and you guys told me afterwards. I'm like, what?
I was
Oh, my
I was
goodness.
really worried about Vivo and it sounding like Vivo because I really
Yeah.
don't like the music from Vivo.
Vivo can get a little grating. It has too much Manuel Miranda on it, I think.
And that is
Yeah.
in more of a Colombian style in terms of like
It is, yeah.
like that kind of music.
Yeah.
And I was just very worried going into it that like I would have to deal with a Vivo 2
Vivo 2 Electric
Boogaloo. But like the music blew me out of the water, though I was a little skeptical at the floors, doors, drawers thing because I just don't like music.
I don't know what your deal
like
is with that.
like that specific line, I do not like.
I don't know what your deal is with that. I think it's fun.
Floors. Door.
Mirabelle confirmed greatest movie protagonist.
Indeed,
Gotta love
which
it.
actually is gonna transition into my next question that I was gonna ask you.
Whoa.
What's your favorite family member?
Jeez,
Rank
you're,
them.
you're asking me to rank my own family?
Rank your own family.
Wow. Or specifically the family from Encanto.
The family madrigal.
Okay, the family Madrigal. I feel like you have to pick Mirabelle as your top pick, right?
Yeah, Mirabelle's my
Otherwise,
least
you're
favorite.
the problem.
Otherwise, you are Abuela.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't know. They all have really
Okay, fine. Outside of Mirabelle, so favorite side family member.
favorite. Okay. That's tough to pick. I actually like all of them. Can I say
like
all of them?
No, you can't. You want me to say
Dolores,
mine?
I
You
think
want me to say mine?
might be my favorite.
You want me to say mine?
She's really funny and really fun in the narrative, I think. What is okay, what's your
Because I was gonna rank them. I was
Okay,
gonna, I was gonna be like
I have like a weak sauce answer.
I was gonna be like Camilo because he's like
Yeah, he rocks.
consistently funny throughout, and I
Yes.
love his singing so much. Like his singing voice is the best.
His
out of any of them, I
character
kid you not.
animation is so good in that movie.
Right? Then Dolores.
Dolores. Heck yeah.
She's amazing.
She's so funny in this movie.
Funny. She has a great character design.
Bro, her little squeaks in this movie are so funny.
She's great. The dinner
Yes.
scene is amazing.
Dinner scene 10 of 10.
Up number 3 is Lisa. I love Lisa. Shout out to Lisa. I really like her song which I didn't
Yeah,
mention
we didn't even
before.
mention. Yeah, No Pressure. Yeah.
And it was
Great
and
song.
it was just really like I don't know, it was really nice to see from Disney like I guess like a stronger girl with like a deeper voice,
Right?
which has never
Oh my
happened from
gosh.
Disney, I don't think.
But kids movies in general just need to hire more like deep voiced female actresses because she sounds great.
She has a great voice.
Yeah, and her song rocks.
song is
yeah.
great. And then, oh man, I just realized I forgot to mention Bruno.
Oh well, I thought we were just going grandkids here.
Yeah, I guess if we're going grandkids, then is Isabella's dad at the bottom.
Wow. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much mine. Just swap Dolores and who did you have at number one?
Camilo.
Yeah.
Dude, Dolores's like character design and costuming is honestly really, really good.
She always looks $1,000,000, Micah.
Like, I mean, like the character designs and costuming for this whole
I was about
movie
to say that
is
all of
really
the character
nice,
designs are actually really
but I don't know
great.
what it is about like Dolores's, but like it's like very like recognizable. Like no.
Yeah,
I know what you're
iconic,
thinking
actually.
over here,
What?
Rafi. I know what you're thinking.
Wow.
All of Twitter was simping
Wow.
for Dolores.
Well, I was simping for Dolores the whole movie, so
But I'm just
does
saying.
this say?
I'm just saying her actual design and costuming. I really, really liked. Like even more
Yeah,
so
no,
than
no.
most of the other family.
that's what I'm
members.
saying. Like, she's just got a really iconic look, which
Yeah.
surprisingly almost the entire family does.
Yeah, and they all fit so naturally together. Mm-hmm. Though I will say, I think my least favorite family member, to go all abuela on them,
Wow.
is actually the dad. I found the dad kind of annoying.
The
throughout.
dad?
Mirabelle's dad.
Oh, okay.
And
I was like, there are more than one
and
dad.
like I didn't fully no other dad perfect. Loved him. He was amazing.
I was about to say I loved him.
But no, Mirabel's dad. I just feel like he didn't really add much to the story, and I felt it was really weird because he doesn't have he didn't have a gift.
No,
he
yeah.
married into the family.
I thought that was weird.
But yet he's super accident prone.
Yeah.
Like, and he kept getting bee stings specifically and
Yep.
like getting super inflated. And I was like, is this supposed to be funny?
I
didn't
guess.
find it that funny.
No, it wasn't super funny, but I was like, this is kind of weird, right?
And it's that guy from NCIS, and I never liked.
is it?
I never
Oh,
liked
man.
that guy from NCIS, so he was my least favorite character.
Wow. Micah's like least favorite character, that guy from NCIS.
So Robbie, are we going to talk about?
Yeah, do you just are you just saying like in the
just
context of
transition-
characters
yeah,
or just talk about Bruno?
What'd you think about Bruno?
Okay.
Like as a plot point, as a character.
Yeah, I was about to say
the
in
whole
the
shebang.
he's kind of the crux of the plot, really.
Yeah.
What to say about Bruno?
You need to talk about.
I don't
Bruno,
know.
Robbie. Give
he's
us
a really-
the truth and the whole truth, Bruno.
a really fun character, a really funny character, a very cinematic character for some reason. I don't know. He's a good foil for, I mean, what could happen to Mirabel, honestly. I mean, that's just good character, right? Like, I can't fucking. I'm like struggling to form a sentence over here. Mike is like, okay. But yeah, I think it's an interesting plot device, if that makes sense. I don't know what to say about it, really.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring him up because I love the actor.
No, yeah. Like I love Bruno in the movie.
He's the best in like everything. John Wick, Ice Age, Encanto. Those are the only things I've seen him in. But he is consistently.
He does rock in all.
He
of
is
them,
consistently the best part of all of that.
Yes.
And then like I really just find the character really fun. I think they
Yes.
spend a little bit like a weird amount of time dedicated to like him being creepy though. Like,
Right?
I think that's what bothers me. The only thing that bothers me about the way his character is written throughout We Don't Talk About Bruno, because most of We Don't Talk About Bruno works, but like even like Camilo's section, which I mean he didn't know Bruno,
Yeah.
he was too young to really remember Bruno, but like he makes him seem very creepy, and I was really worried they'd spend like a lot of time in the movie like just being like, oh, he's so creepy.
No.
So I'm glad they dropped that
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But like he's such a sad character.
He really is, honestly.
Like I don't think you realize how sad of a character he is unless you think about it for like how long has he been gone? He's been gone for like 15 years, living in the walls, like wishing he was part of the family.
Yeah.
Being super sad. Like what the heck?
Bro, the table through the wall is one of the saddest things I've
Dude,
seen
the
in
little,
a Disney
the
movie.
little plate that he drew on
Yeah.
is so sad. I was like, what the heck?
This is so Yeah.
So Bruno is, I think he's a really cool, like I get, like you said, foil
Yeah.
for Mirabelle
Yeah,
as
exactly.
being like the odd one out in the family,
Yeah.
and showing how stupid the family could be, because like honestly that is like the worst gift you could possibly get, because no joke, that's exactly how people would react.
This is exactly
They're
how
like,
it would
they're
play
like,
out.
read my fortune, tell me a prophecy, and he's like, okay. Oh man, I saw your fish die, and they're like, what?
What?
He killed my fish.
He killed my fish, bro.
like that
Yeah.
kind of thing. Like that's exactly what would happen. And I think Bruno's character design's really good too.
Oh yeah, definitely. The fact that he always looks like he has no sleep at all times.
Oh yeah, I really like Bruno.
Actually, now that you mention it, Gift of Prophecy was actually a really brilliant thing to do,
Right?
for just the whole movie.
Yeah, for the plot of
Yeah,
the movie too.
yeah.
Just to have, no, it's really smart.
It's actually,
decision.
yeah. Whoa, good screenplay.
You know what's always really weird to this? This isn't really something big or
Okay.
anything like that. This is set in that weird time in history that like everything looks like it could be way before the technological boom, but yet it's not. Like it's probably. I think I looked it up. I forget what time period it was set in.
Yeah, since they're like secluded in
Yeah.
nature, like there's really no indicators other than the architecture and everything, and they have like carts.
Yeah, exactly. It's set in the 50s.
Oh wow, yeah.
Which you know they allude
Exactly,
to technology.
yeah,
They
yeah.
allude to TV. They have cameras.
Yeah.
But it's I just found it so funny because it's that time period where like and in an area where that actually had like old architecture.
Exactly, yeah.
Unlike the good old USA.
The good old USA, baby.
But like at first I thought it was like set way back there, and then they kept like referencing more and more things, and I was like, oh, this is up there.
I forgot about the TV thing. I'm like, what is he talking about? And then I remembered it. I'm like, oh no.
But
It's even more sad, Micah.
yeah, what's sad is they don't get any TV in the Encanto. Nobody has any TVs.
That's the biggest downside.
Yeah, I didn't see a single TV. I think we need to do something. I need to bring cars and TVs to the Encanto.
Wow.
They're too secluded.
They're too secluded. That's the takeaway, Micah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I will find the Encanto and I will bring you modern technology.
When you brought up Bruno and everything, though, it really does bring into mind how brilliant of a screenplay this is for it not having a traditional antagonist like Disney movies usually do.
Bro, but Abuela is more of an antagonist than like any Disney movie has had in years.
That's true. That's very true.
She's just like the kind of antagonist that needs to change, not needs to like die.
Yeah, exactly. But I know that was kind of a turnoff for a lot of people when they initially watched this movie, because there's not really any
No, there's no
conflict
there's no
other than
central plot conflict.
yeah, exactly.
There's no quest that needs to take place. There's no thing.
Yeah.
Like the magic is quote unquote dying, but it's like it's really done weirdly
It's
in
the
the movie.
family dying, like
So like it really isn't like there's no quest
Spoiler
that has
alert,
to happen.
It's the family.
Maybe the magic is run by family power.
Like the magic is family magic.
The Disney family magic.
Exactly.
But no, yeah, it's a really smart idea for a story, and they did a really good job with it on the screenplay level.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there's sometimes like you have two different things in story writing. You have a story that's like, yeah, whatever, it's an idea, but it's really well written. And then other times you have like ideas that are like, whoa, that could only be done justice on the screen. That's so cool.
Yeah.
And this is one of those second ones.
Yeah, no, I know some people I follow on Letterboxd were complaining that there's a lot of like plot contrivances and whatnot, like stuff happening just for plot's sake. And I honestly didn't really see that much. Like,
Yeah, but that's such a petty complaint.
it really is. Yeah, no, when I read that, I was like, I mean, I could see a case for it, especially with a lot of Bruno's stuff near the middle.
Yeah,
But like honestly, it all fits like what's the character writing and stuff.
Yeah,
like I don't know.
Like I don't get like plot contrivancy being a major complaint for a movie. Like, yeah, the plot happens. That's how story writing works. You write about things happening.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to address something because I was like, I can see where they're coming from. I just wanted to address a criticism of the movie.
Yeah, no, like
yeah,
I could see that because no, like, but that's like any movie ever. Any movie.
Mike is like, you don't like movies.
No, dissect any movie, even like the highest rated movies of all time, and you could be like, wow, that's kind of weird that this thing just sort of happened because it's the plot of the movie.
It's the plot of the movie. It's happening.
But yeah, no, like with the Bruno specific stuff, like especially being that Dolores, by power's sake, would have theoretically heard him for like 15 years or however long it's been.
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird.
I don't know. That's never bothered me. You and Marianne both pointed out like that it was like bothering you. I'm like,
no, it's just like weird, like to think about because like obviously like she would hear him. She has amazing hearing.
Yeah,
and she would hear like him being sad, him talking to himself, all of what was going on, and she wouldn't be like, maybe I should do something about that.
Well, she doesn't know where he is.
Jerk move.
She doesn't know where he is.
Oh, you cannot tell me that with her super hearing, she cannot pinpoint hearing somewhere.
She did nothing wrong, Mike.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I guess I agree with the fact that there are some things in the plot that seem a little goofy, but like it doesn't take away from my enjoyment of the plot at all.
Yeah.
Enjoyment of the movie.
The movie. The film.
What's that? House? Not a house.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, no, what else is there to talk about? I mean, we talked about the music, which is great. We talked about the characters, which are great.
The animation.
We mentioned that the character designs were all great.
The character designs are really fantastic.
They literally all are.
And like I wanted to shout out for the fact that this is a really like vibrant movie.
I
really love, especially, I mean with Isabella, like. You get that especially, but like the way like plant life and stuff is worked so well into it. I'm a big sucker for like stony architecture with a lot of plants. Like stony architecture with a lot of plants.
Micah wants to live in a cobblestone hovel with vines on it.
Exactly. That's peak living.
Wow.
So like I just really visually find this movie very appealing. I've always liked like the Colombian architecture and like the way the plants and like mountains are integrated a lot into the visuals.
Yeah.
I very much appreciate it.
No, it's cool. Yeah, I was about to say like every visual aspect of this movie that comes to mind, I'm like, wow, that actually works really well.
Yeah, and like and speaking of visuals specifically, like the quote unquote cameras, and there's no actual camera.
There's no camera.
But like the camera movements and everything, and like the way it performs as a camera, is actually really neat. And like I like it especially during the musical numbers.
Yeah.
And like even some of the fun stuff they do, like during Waiting on a Miracle?
Yes.
I think is the name of the song.
Yes, I believe that's the song.
Like I really like what they did with certain things like with like freezing everything. It was just very neat.
I was about to say, from a visual perspective, it's kind of, I don't want to say like rare to see this much visual competence in a Disney animated movie, but like it is way better shot than most Disney animated movies.
Yeah, like take Frozen for recent. It's not Frozen 2, because Frozen 2 actually has way better cinematography.
I was about to say Frozen 2 is
one.
a lot more kinetic and vibrant than the first
It just
one
sucks
is.
that it was like extremely rushed and kind
Ridiculously
of
rushed.
sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like for the first Frozen, just feels kind of flat.
It does,
Like
definitely.
consistently throughout. And I mean, the fact that it's all pretty much snow doesn't help.
Yeah.
But like they never really do much with the camera that makes you feel very dynamic about what's happening.
Exactly.
And even like they've been doing better lately. Like again, Frozen 2 actually looks really good.
Yeah.
Which we talked about when we did the episode on it.
I was about to say, I feel like I remember us doing a Frozen 2 episode, but yes. It's really well shot and it looks amazing.
But like in terms of animation, like this is like getting back to actually looking like movies, which I feel like we haven't really done since they were making 2D movies.
Yeah, no, it's so weird. And especially we don't talk about Bruno is a really well storyboarded sequence. Like the way you could pick up on everything that the song is saying with it muted is honestly very impressive. I really admire that about this movie, and most of the musical numbers are that way. Their visual ideas are conveyed really well.
That's the last Disney movie to come out. I was trying to think of what came out right before this, but Raya, the most forgettable movie ever.
I forgot about Raya.
It looks like a Marvel movie consistently throughout.
Raya and the Last Dragon. We did a whole episode about it, but yes, it is
like a Marvel movie.
It is a very boringly crafted movie. And that really speaks to this.
It's one of the most forgettable movies I've seen in a while, and I do not think I will forget about Encanto anytime soon.
Exactly.
Like, not only have we been like singing it around the house literally nonstop, but like it's just such a memorable like movie. The characters, the elements, like it weaves such a good story emotionally and gets you so into the family, and they're such fun, unique characters.
Exactly.
Like so many family movies have so many family members that are just like, oh,
it's the annoying one.
There's that one. But this one, you literally get a sense that you want to spend time with like all of these members, that all of them are real people with like thoughts and feelings, and even like Camilo, which is arguably the least developed of any of him. Like he just doesn't really do much.
He's one of my favorites. Yeah,
he's one of my favorites. He's so much fun, and I want to see more from him.
Once again, testament to the character animation here, because like the fact that he doesn't even have that much dialogue in the movie.
He says like 3 things.
He says,
of songs.
I was about to say he says like 3 lines, but he's always so expressive, and I don't know. It's great character work, is what it is.
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. Like I really am in love with what this movie is doing, especially from a Disney standpoint. Even if I don't think it's like a perfect movie.
No.
It's not.
It's not.
I just have so much respect and love for the fact that it gets you really into, I mean, family movies are the best. Like movies about families are just always really like movies about families are always really cool.
Yeah, like Parasite.
Autumn Sonata, Parasite, just a couple light pairings.
Yeah, just a few something else you can watch if you like Encanto.
If your kids like Encanto, turn on Autumn Sonata.
Oh my gosh, familial trauma,
biggest
part
mistake
2
of my life.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, thematically, it's a pretty decent.
Yeah, I was about to say that wouldn't suck actually, but I would not turn on Autumn Sonata with a child.
Tonally, they're like the absolute
so
opposite.
Tonally dissonant. Yes.
Shout out to Autumn Sonata.
Shout out to Autumn Sonata. That is a great movie.
But no, like I really like family-esque movies if they're done well, which usually
you're just like big ensemble movies.
Yeah, that's true. But like usually Disney movies don't really do.
It's because they don't bother writing the other family members.
And like I don't know, I just really like the like being in this movie.
I was about to say the only other Disney movie in recent memory that I can think of that has stuck with me in a similar way is Moana, and that's not nearly to the same extent as this one has.
Yeah, the most recent like full on Disney like encompassing all of Disney movie that's made me feel this way was Luca, which came out pretty recently.
Yeah,
but
Luca
it's Pixar.
It's Pixar,
and it's pretty much just ripping on or Ghibli.
Ghibli,
like
yeah.
it's just grabbing everything that's super, which I love Luca, and
Who
it
doesn't
feels
like
so
Ghibli
nice,
movies, yeah.
so nice to watch Luca. Like there's a vibe here, like, and I don't get it as much when watching live action movies, but when I watch animated movies, like my mind kind of gauges them on how much like I would want to be in the world of the movie, the vibes of the world of the movie. And
Porco Rosso's the best movie for that, Mike.
Exactly, Porco Rosso is one of the greatest movies that like every Ghibli movie
every
has
Ghibli
such
movie.
immaculate like. Yeah.
But
like Disney movies very rarely breach that line of like being a place that I would want to spend time in.
Yeah.
And like Moana is a pretty good instance of one of them.
Exactly. Yeah, I was about to say Moana has great character writing and great character animation and a really fun, vibrant universe.
And I'm not as in love with Moana.
No, I'm not either.
It's whatever.
Another Lin-Manuel Miranda music.
Oh boy.
Movie, which this I think to just kind of, I don't know, reinforce it, how good Encanto's musical numbers are. I think it actually has stronger songs than Moana does, and I love Moana's soundtrack.
And I'm going to be honest, I think this is using Lin-Manuel Miranda at his best in terms of like not just him writing in his style, but having him paired with some kind of music.
Oh yeah, no, this is definitely him in his element, but not isolated.
Yeah, because like Moana and Encanto both are not just Moana less so, but both of them are not just like a Lin-Manuel Miranda musical.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is not his sound. He is doing a sound, and I think that is the best for him.
Yeah. I was about to say something like one of my least favorite musicals of his from a musical perspective is In the Heights, and it's because so much of the music sounds very, very similar.
Yeah.
And just kind of blends together because he's doing the same sort of lyrical beats on almost all the songs.
Yeah, and especially putting those not on stage.
Exactly.
Which is the best way to connect to those characters.
Yeah. The movie really suffers for that. All the musical numbers kind of blend together in a weird way.
And I mean, he's gotten better at it because that was one of his first musicals.
That was one of his first musicals.
But like, it's very prevalent, even in Hamilton, which
Vivo has a kind of a similar problem, honestly.
Like, everything just feels Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Yeah.
You're seeping in Lin-Manuel Miranda, and that's not always a good thing.
I was about to say, sometimes I struggle to think of which In the Heights song I'm thinking of with... And Vivo too. I've actually listened to the Vivo soundtrack quite a few times,
mistake.
And I enjoy it. It's fun.
I don't like Vivo's music,
but like with Encanto, I'm never in question because all the musical numbers are so distinct and character driven.
Well
exactly. Yeah.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
Like take like Lisa's song. Like. And that's not even, like, my favorite kind of musical song. It's a very pop song.
Yeah, very poppy, yes.
But it's really good. And, like, the pop song that, like, it works so well with all of the rest of these.
Yeah.
And then you have Isabella, who does, like, a weird, like, pop ballad kind of thing.
Yeah, no, it's a pop ballad.
And, like, it's so weird, but, like, all of them blend so well together. And, like, even the song... is it just called Dos Caterpillars? I don't actually remember what the Spanish word for caterpillars. I don't remember what the Spanish word for caterpillars is.
But yes, that song.
But like even that song, which is again very different from every other song,
incredibly distinct from the rest of them. Yeah,
like it just blends so well into the soundscape for the movie, and all of it just feels like a different facet of family members.
Yeah, I was about to say it feels cohesive without feeling homogenous. I think is kind of what you're going for.
Homogeneous, our big word for the day.
That's not that crazy.
Grab your thesaurus, kids.
Oh my gosh.
Homogenously.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, no.
Do you have any other anything else you want to talk about?
Anything else to add? I wanted to talk about the ending actually because it's very. I apparently some people don't like it very much. They think it wraps up too neatly or too quickly.
Yeah, I have one complaint about the ending.
Say yours first.
I have one complaint about the ending.
Yes.
The way they do the montage of building the house. That's it.
Really? That's it?
That's it. Like, I like the ending of this movie, but like it always bothered me like how weirdly and fast they did the montage of rebuilding the house. Like they could have done like a song or something. Like they have a score song with some background like vocals, I think.
Whoa.
But like I wanted like a number. I wanted like
You wanted a musical number?
I wanted something there. They just like rebuild the house and then they're like put on the doorknob, Mirabelle.
I'm like the ending scene.
Because I'm not wrong, right? There's the musical number, because there's a musical number that plays around it.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like an instrumental break because they start singing, and then instrumental break while they're building the house, and then it comes back.
Because the final song is built around that moment.
If I'm remembering
no song
correctly.
going during it, I don't.
Yes,
think.
yeah. But yeah, that's actually I was gonna point out as like the most, or I should say the least subtle moment of the movie. It feels very. I don't know, not pandery. Pandery isn't the right word, but like it feels way too indulgent.
Yeah, it feels kind of surface level.
Exactly. Yeah, I was about to say compared to the rest of the movie, the point when Mirabelle gets to put the doorknob in, and everyone. I was about to say it feels like someone with like some weird grudge against their family wrote the scene, and they're finally going to acknowledge all the hard work I did. It feels way too like that, and I know that's not the intention.
And I think again, it's because of the pacing of the ending. It's all a bit too rushed. Like if they would have done an actual thing again with building the house, while all of them didn't have any of their we get to see almost none of them having to like deal with the fact that they don't have any of their magical powers.
Yeah,
that they've had almost their entire lives. I wanted some of that to where they could actually kind of grow a bit more to appreciate Mirabelle, because as much as Mirabelle does a lot for them and shows them how much they're neglecting her.
Exactly.
The movie,
yes.
We don't really get a whole lot of them like actually building up any respect for her.
Yeah, and that's why we mentioned that's really our biggest problem with the movie is that it
make it 2 hours.
Yeah, make it a 2-hour movie, man. Yeah, just stretch the ending out a little bit. But yeah, no, that's really honestly the only scene in the movie that I'm not totally in love with, you know?
Yeah, because like Mirabelle grows to love herself.
Exactly.
But the family feels still kind of surface level for the fact that they would just be like, and I think that's also like that entire song encompasses like the problems with the rushed ending, because like Bruno's return also feels extremely rushed.
They speed run Bruno's return.
They speed run Bruno's
It's like 45 seconds and then it's over. And
they're like, "Are we gonna talk about Bruno? That's Bruno." And then like 2 seconds later, and they're like, "Oh, we missed you, Bruno.
We missed you, Bruno."
And like Dolores is like, "Yeah, he was in the walls the whole time." And the family they're like, "We're just happy he's back." And they're like, "Yeah, right. Shut up." I'm mad about it. But yeah, I'm
mad about it.
Like I think that all stretches back to my only big problem with the movie is that everything, especially at the end, feels kind of rushed.
It does. Yeah, that's really the biggest flaw I can acknowledge in the movie, honestly. Like that's the only one that even sticks out as a flaw to me.
But I still don't think it messes with the emotional stakes of the ending.
Exactly, yeah.
And like it was so weird. So my girlfriend, who I watched this movie with and she loved, she actually has a fair bit of family trauma.
Who doesn't, Micah? Who doesn't?
So it connected with her and she really loved it, which I was very happy about.
Yeah.
But she works at a movie theater and people at her theater were like, "Oh, Encanto's kind of sucks.
Kind of sucks.
The ending is so weird." Like she told me that like they said the ending was really like not good.
Wow.
And I'm like, I could see it being kind of rushed, but these aren't exactly the kind of like people who would be deep into film criticism.
Wow, Micah.
No, like one of her coworkers literally told her she only watches Disney and Marvel movies.
That's a slippery slope, honestly. Like you're not missing out entirely on good movies, obviously, with Encanto and everything, but like that's
but like
not ideal.
How do you work at a theater and then only watch Marvel movies? That's depressing. Whoever this is, you depress me.
I'm so sorry. I feel so sorry for you. Please tell me you have another hobby other than movie.
Tell me you're interested in some form of storytelling.
Please tell me you're interested in like music or something.
Music, books, plays.
Books. That's much better.
Anything pique your interest, please.
But yeah, no. That's really honestly I wanted to give that a shout out because other than Abuela, everyone seems to praise Mirabelle way too quickly for my comfort level.
So and that's the thing,
Yeah.
and that's kind of
Because
the
they
whole
all
thing of
yeah.
like, and I think that's why it feels so disingenuous as a whole. The family throughout most of the movie works very much as individuals. They're very much experiencing their own emotions and own ideas.
Exactly, yeah.
throughout.
They're separate a
And
lot of the
then
movie. Yeah.
at the end, Abuela's like, "Oh, Mirabelle," and then they're like, "Ah, Mirabelle." Like, and I mean, Isabella did have a moment, like she connected with.
Yeah,
her
no, that's
sister,
a great. That's
that was
actually
great.
a great emotional beat. Somehow, I did not expect that.
But like even her dad, like the way he talked to her in the one scene, it was so like, I don't know, like belittling.
Yeah, exactly.
And like
yeah.
they do that for a lot of the movie, and they never really come back from that, and then they kind of hive mind love Mirabelle.
Hive mind, exactly. Yeah, no, that's the kind of feel that I'm saying for the ending. That's what I don't like about it. But
Yeah, again, it feels the most rushed. It feels the least genuine.
not
to
a big
family.
enough problem that it spoils the memory of the movie for me. I'm not like, Encanto, and then I think about the ending, I'm like, crap, Encanto.
Yeah, because again,
Yeah.
like it's not one of those endings that you dread getting to. It's
Exactly.
literally just because the emotional.
It just feels
beats-
rushed, 'cause the beats are there.
The beats are there, and
Yeah.
like the people that you really need to care about, because like as much as like the family does matter, like for the actual emotions of the story
Mm-hmm.
itself, really all that matters is Mirabelle and Abuela. And they give them plenty of time to work through that, because Mirabelle has to love herself,
Yeah.
and Abuela has to realize she's the one who's causing all of the problems.
Yes.
And like they do a really good job focusing on that, and those beats hit really well.
Exactly.
So the stuff in the background, while it feels rushed and kind of sad because it's rushed, it doesn't take away from the actual
I was about to say,
written ending.
You can still tell that like if you just think about what's happening in the movie, you can tell where they're going with the emotional like beats and stuff
Yeah.
for the other characters, obviously. But like, I don't know, it doesn't really bother me all that much that it's super duper rushed near the end.
Yeah, it's not a standout.
Exactly.
problem.
Yeah, exactly.
Which-
We keep harping on
Which,
it.
by the way,
but it is not dragging my experience down that much.
since we're about at the ending, I did
Yeah.
want to mention,
Yeah.
being that I said it wasn't a standout problem, I wanted to say like our ratings for it.
Oh yeah.
And I rated it 4.5 stars, or a 9 out of 10.
I also rated it a 9 out of 10. It has not. My rating has not changed over the 3 viewings.
I think I gave it
that
a 3.
watched.
I think I gave it a 3.5.
I think
then
so,
a 4, then a 4.5.
Micah, is it a 5 next time?
No, it's. I don't think it'll never. Because of what we just talked about, I don't think it'll ever cross the threshold of being a 5. Plus, I usually only give out 5s to like movies that impact me specifically. And like I said, as good as this movie is, and as good as its emotional beats are, it's not something that I personally connect to that much.
Oh. Micah, you have to become a middle child. The end.
Oh boy.
Micah, when I saw that she had glasses, I'm like, she's just like me for real.
He's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think I cried every time I've watched this movie, so
Yeah, and
that's
see,
a
I
testament to how
wasn't,
good it
and
is.
see, I wasn't even like close to crying
Yeah.
anytime I've watched
Dang.
it, because it's just, again, even from a first viewing, it's just not a story that like emotionally connects to me in my experience in life.
Well, I suppose that's a good thing in
Yeah.
hindsight. But yeah, no, great film. 9 out of 10. One of my favorites of last year and the 2020s as a whole so far. I think it's in my top 10 for the decade right now. But then
yeah.
again, we've only been doing this for like 2 years.
We are in year 3 of the decade.
Yeah.
So it's not a very.
Yeah, not a super prestigious position at the moment, but I did give it a 9, so it'll probably stay pretty close to the top for a lot of the decade.
Yeah, no, it was a
Great film.
great film. But yeah, do we want to wrap it up and talk about what we watched?
Yeah, let's do it. Let's go over what we watched, Mike.
All right, for the uninformed, the unintelligent,
What?
the noobs, the
noobs?
simpletons.
Wow. Okay. Insult our audience.
The what we watched segment is a short little section at the end where we go over everything that we logged on Letterboxd, the
Letterboxd.
film social media
The social film platform.
since the last episode we did.
Yes. Which our last episode was our most anticipated films of 2022, where we went over our most anticipated films of 2022.
So we're starting at the 10th, I think.
The 10th, yes.
And I will say that I was still doing watches for my DreamWorks ranked video, which I'm going to
Yes.
start writing today. So I'm still not really going to talk about a lot of the movies I logged, but I still logged like 50 million movies because I was watching like 5 movies a day.
Yes. But yeah, we're going from the 10th. I guess we'll give a shout out to the first 2, even though they're DreamWorks movies.
Yeah, I watched, well, technically that was the 9th.
Oh, was it?
Right, Rise of the
okay,
Guardians
okay.
was the 9th. Then on the 10th,
On
we
the 10th.
watched, or I watched The Croods,
I mean, I watched
Turbo,
it too, yeah.
Mr. Peabody
Oh my
and
gosh.
Sherman, and How to Train Your Dragon.
Yikes.
And also Tangled that night.
Wow.
Which Tangled is not DreamWorks. It was a
No.
rewatch. I watched it like over Disney Plus with my
Remotely.
girlfriend.
Amazing.
Which isn't as nice as watching it in person by far. But it actually worked a lot better this time around. I don't know. I'd
Good.
been watching too many animated movies, and like I spent like the entire time like just watching the textures and the animation of the movie and like pointing out random things. And Haley was like, "What the heck are you talking about?" And I was like, "No, look at those grass."
look at the grass. Isn't that nice looking grass?
But I upped it to a 4-star this time around. It's so much fun.
I'm so glad when Tangled clicks better for someone than it does for me, because the pacing in that movie just totally drags it for me.
Like, and there's so much to like in Tangled.
Yeah, there's so
It's
much to
just
like.
it's literally
It's
just
such a-
it's literally just the pace.
It's such a charming movie, and it's literally just has terrible pacing.
Yeah, I upped it to a 4.
Cool. I gave The Croods a 7. We watched it while we were editing the podcast last week, actually. And Emma Stone and Nicolas Cage are my heroes, I think.
Grug moment.
Grug moment, exactly. I watched Murder on the Orient Express, the 1974 one that Sidney Lumet directed, while Micah was watching Tangled. This was my second time watching it. I was not crazy about it the first time.
Boring.
Yes, that was the biggest problem I had with it the first time around.
Composed mostly of boron.
But I actually really enjoyed the ensemble cast in this. Like, second time around, I enjoyed it a heck of a lot more. The direction was really
Gee
smart.
Willikers. It's Psycho from Psycho.
Yeah, exactly. It's the Psycho from Psycho, yes. But yeah, I don't know. Really great camera work, really great cast. I really only have problems with the pacing around the middle. I think the interviews and stuff take way too long and eat up way too much of the runtime. But other than that, great movie. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Great stuff.
Then on the 11th, I watched Penguins of Madagascar, Home, Kung Fu Panda 3, and Trolls that night. But I also watched After We Meet Again, the sequel short film to Love in Time of Corona, I think
Yes,
is what it's called.
Love in
by
Time of Corona,
Houston and Debbie Coley.
Yeah.
Shout out
Great
to them.
stuff, man. I can't wait to see the sequel. You watched it without me this time, but
Yeah, I just wanted to watch something.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
really wanted to, and Houston tweeted about it, but I did not fully connect with it as much as I did Love in the Time of Corona, but that like hit really personally to me, like with what I
Understandably,
in
yeah.
my personal experiences. Like
Yeah.
I was almost crying throughout the whole thing, whereas this one is a lot less emotional. It's a lot more like relaxing and kind of contemplative. But I love the style of like.
well, I mean,
their,
it
like,
was supposed to be kind of a riff on like the Before trilogy,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
that Richard Linklater did.
Yeah.
For those who are unaware.
And it's so like relaxing to watch, and like I love like it's so sweet watching like just Houston doing well in life.
Yeah.
I don't know. That sounds,
Right.
sounds creepy.
Whoa,
but
what?
I'm happy. I'm happy that
It's so much fun watching Houston. What?
I'm happy that he's doing well. And,
Yeah, yeah.
And
Wish him nothing but the best.
like they're really like it's like watching two people who are extremely talented at what they do.
Exactly.
Being in love and just like doing what they do.
Making a banger film.
Like it's
Yeah.
it's just really impressive. Emotionally, it didn't hit as hard for me, but it isn't really trying to.
I have a sinking feeling that I'm gonna like that one better, honestly.
And I think on a whole, it's more together than Love in the Time of Corona, because again, Love in the Time of Corona was done as little shorts.
Yeah, it feels a little.
Whereas this was a
stilted.
Stilted is the best word to describe it. Whereas this was a full-on just thing.
It's like a movie. Yeah,
and it was very, very good. I gave it 4.5 stars.
Yeah, I can't wait to see it. I was gonna give a shout out to my Penguins of Madagascar rating. I gave it a 6 out of 10,
as it deserves.
The show is way better. Go watch the show instead.
Watch the show. The show is
Penguins of
genuinely
Madagascar.
one of the greatest animated shows ever crafted.
Jolly good show.
I love it.
Yeah. All right.
If you need convincing, find the out of context Penguins of Madagascar page.
Right. That night I watched Smiling Friends, but I'm going to talk about that because I believe Micah watched it later.
I watched it. Well, I'll talk about it now.
Okay.
I didn't log it. I put that I watched it, but I didn't log it because it's a TV show episode.
Yeah, I was about to say, for those unaware, it's the pilot episode of a new Adult Swim show called Smiling Friends. That's pretty much it. Yeah.
Smiling Friends. We watched the first 2 episodes because the second one
was
also
free. You came down here and watched the second one with me. Yeah.
And I really loved Smiling Friends.
It's surprisingly great. I think it explores nihilism in a really funny way. Actually, like I know a lot of Adult Swim shows like deal with nihilism and like depression and stuff like that, usually in a comedic way, which this does. This is one of the most inventive and entertaining uses of those themes that I've seen.
And like beyond it being really funny and really like interesting to watch, and their premises are really cool. I like the animation looks really good. Like I love especially Pim's eyes.
Oh my gosh.
The vocal cast is outstanding. Shout out to the guy who voices Pim. I love your accent.
Yeah, I was gonna give a shout out to my favorite character from the show, which was Alan. I wish he had more screen time.
Pim is the best.
You think Pim's the best?
But I also wanted to say that I really liked the editing in it. Like that was a standout to me, and that's usually not something that I'm like, oh, that's a standout.
Oh,
but like
great editing,
especially as like an Adult Swim show.
Yeah,
like it's so snappy.
It's weird seeing pacing this good in a TV, like in an adult animated TV show, because most of the time they just kind of throw jokes next to each other and hope they work.
It's really well paced scene to scene, and the editing is really snappy. Yeah. So like the first 2 episodes, which comes out to about 20 minutes, because they're
like 12-minute episodes.
Like I really, really loved it. I want to try and watch the rest if I can.
I was about to say, just evaluating the first episode, I think it has a little bit of a tough time juggling its B plot and A plot together, but honestly, like other than that, I think it's pretty much perfect. I love it.
As much as I think I liked some of the jokes in the first one better, I think the second episode with
episode's a lot better together. It's a lot more cohesive than the first one is. Yeah. But yeah, no, I gave the pilot a 8 out of 10. Again, this is an Adult Swim animated show, so make sure you're old enough to watch it before you just click it on, I guess. But yes, it was very good. I wanted to give it a shout out.
Then on the 12th, it was a light day on the 12th. I watched Trolls, The Boss Baby, and How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World.
I watched Secronomy, Trolls, and How to Train Your Dragon, The Hidden World, which... is that right? Secronomy? Yeah, I guess that is how you pronounce it. It's a Norman McLaren film. It's a Norman McLaren film, which for those familiar with his work, you kind of know exactly what to expect from it. I watched a documentary about his work a little while ago. I don't know if I told you about this. He was very influential in the field of synthesized movie sound. So he would like take back when they did sound on like the sidebar of a film strip. Yeah. He would take and paint shapes on the film strips to create like synthesized sounds. Huh. So he composed a musical score and hand painted the entire thing. And this film, Secronomy, is a visual rendering of the score. That's so while cool. It's playing, and it's like a synth. It sounds electronic. It's like a synth. Symphony. It's really cool.
That's really neat.
Yeah, no. The more, like I said, I watched a documentary about how he did it, and he would like paint the like riffs, and he would show like width adjusting tone and volume and stuff like that is really cool. So I was really interested in watching this, and it was great. He's a great composer. I wish it had a little more visual,
Pizzazz.
a little more visual diversity. It was more what I'm going for.
Slap in the face.
Because it looks really cool. But I just wish it tried more
It's
things.
like that one short film. What was that called? Like Life of the Butterfly or something like that, or Moth or something like that.
I don't know which one you're talking about.
It was one of the highest rated on there, but it's like a abstract images to show the entire life of like a moth or butterfly
I don't
or
think
something.
I watched that with you.
And it's like 2 minutes long, but it all looks like. I wish it would looked a little more visually diverse.
I was about to say they try a couple different things in Synchronomy for the visuals, but it's kind of homogenous for it being 7 minutes long. For it being 7 minutes long. I gave it a 7 out of 10. Norman McLaren is a brilliant mind. Go watch Synchronomy. It's great.
I wanted to see if I should have logged it. I wanted to see.
Do you want to check right now, Micah?
I mean, I don't have to. I was.
I guess I can list my ratings for Trolls and How to Train Your Dragon. I gave Trolls. I gave Trolls a 6 out of 10. That movie does not deserve. Yeah, no, I did not watch that. That movie does not deserve its art direction and animation because it's kind of a crummy-ish screenplay with kind of a crummy-ish soundtrack. But really good art direction and fun animation. But that's about it. Like, that's really all it has going for it. It's got some fun jokes occasionally, some fun musical numbers occasionally, but it's not really right. Like, you're not going to think about it that much after it's over.
Then on the 13th.
Well, I didn't list my How to Train Your Dragon the Hidden World rating.
What'd you rate it, Ruby?
I rated it a 9 out of 10. I gave it a 7 the first time I watched it, but it hit a lot better the second time around.
It's because the How to Train Your Dragon movies are really great.
A lot more emotional this time around.
You just hate Viking aesthetics.
I just don't like the Viking aesthetic. It's true.
Then on the 13th, I was about to wrap up the DreamWorks catalog.
You really were.
Which is some of the worst DreamWorks movies. I watched Trolls World Tour, The Croods: A New Age, and Spirit Untamed.
With Jake Gyllenhaal, baby.
Oh man, it's so bad.
Yeah, no, not good movie. My review for Spirit Untamed was bad screenplay and then a frowny face.
It's so bad.
I give it a 3 out of 10. It is not a good movie.
I give it a 2 out of 10.
And I like horses. Who doesn't like horses?
Then on the 14th, we watched The Tragedy of Macbeth.
Yes, new Joel Coen film,
which I watched in theaters and I absolutely loved. I don't want to talk about it too much because we're gonna do an episode on it.
Probably not next week. I'm hoping we can do Eternals next week.
Yeah.
But maybe the week after that we'll talk about Tragedy of Macbeth because there is a lot to talk about.
I rated it 5 stars both times. I really, 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 really love what it's doing. And even if I understand people's complaints with it.
Yeah.
But I have actually 0 complaints with it.
I was about to say I have a few problems with it, but we can get more into that like when we do an episode about it. I give it a 9 out of 10. I think for what it's doing, it's doing a pretty darn good job of it.
Man, it was like really depressing though, not watching it in theaters. Like I still think it's fantastic.
Yeah.
But like watching it in theaters was such a good experience.
I was about to say something with sound design like this, something that's as atmospheric as this is. I think it really would have benefited from a theater.
You're sitting in a massive black room and then like and then like the witches are whispering stuff. It's so good.
And then the black screen comes in and you hear Fear's the Mind Killer.
Exactly.
Yeah. But yes, Tragedy of Macbeth. Good film.
Then on the 15th, we were well, technically it was still the 14th, but it was that night. We turned it on really late.
Yeah.
But we were like, what if we watched No Country for Old Men?
What if we watched No Country for Old Men?
And shout out to the fact that we got our sister to watch like the first 15 minutes of it. She had already taken melatonin and was like planning on going to bed.
Yeah.
But she got invested, which means she might watch it.
Yes. We keep trying to expand her cinematic horizons, and this is a great thing for that because it's digestible and interesting
movie,
consistently engaging, and I love it.
I'm gonna be honest, this actually might have been my favorite viewing of the movie.
Really?
Like I think especially like the last viewing left a bad taste in my mouth because we watched it with our parents and like I felt a lot of pressure to like see what they liked about it.
I guess so. Great film, though. One of the best. I say what you will about the actual film. I think it's one of the best screenplays to come out of the 2000s.
It's so good.
It's such a good screenplay.
It's so good. And the visual storytelling. Oh my gosh.
Roger Deakins. I said in my review, I said Roger Deakins' work here almost makes me want to give up my dream of being a cinematographer. I'm not sure I'm ever going to reach anywhere near this caliber of operation.
Shout out to the desert. Shout out to the desert that this and There Will Be Blood was filmed in. Gotta be one of my favorite.
The visual storytelling in this is great. The sound editing and design and storytelling is great. The performances are great. The screenplay is great.
Yes, it's a great movie.
It's one of the best movies ever made.
But the back-to-back Coen brothers was nice.
I said the last few scenes in No Country for Old Men are some of the best in movie history.
I gave it 5 stars.
Like the last 4 or 5 scenes. I also gave it a 10, yeah.
Then on the 15th,
10 out of 10.
On the 15th, unless you watched something, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I finished up all of DreamWorks feature, like, full release films and watched The Boss
Theatrical
Baby
films, yeah.
Family Business.
Family Business.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Boss Baby Family Business.
Yeah, I'll talk. Can't wait for the video where I talk about that one.
Wow.
Look out for that in Greyway Films. It's coming soon. But then also on the 15th, since we were done with DreamWorks movies, we started like actually watching. Oh, actually, and
for some
also,
reason we went on a horror binge after that.
Also, our sister left.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really watch movies, so we were like, movie time.
We can watch movies now.
We watched I See You.
I See You.
An indie horror movie.
Yes. Yeah.
Weird movie.
Weird movie, yeah. I See You 2019, directed by Adam Randall, because apparently there's another 2019 film called I See You that I got mixed up with a lot of the time.
But it's actually really interesting because it was way better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
It's still not, like, outstanding, but it was but it was actually, like, good.
I think it's pretty great.
I wasn't really expecting it to be good.
Really solid direction, surprisingly. Really well shot, really well edited, well paced.
A cool story idea.
Yeah, cool
like,
story idea.
I think literally its biggest problem, and you mentioned this, and I mean, it has a lot of problems, but its biggest problem is that there's no real narrative anchor, like emotional anchor throughout the entire thing, because it's one of the kind of stories that, like, swaps sides of
I was
story
about to
and
say,
plays out again.
you see basically the same plot line twice, but just from a different perspective the second time.
Both perspectives, you don't really have much to be like the first time you're kind of staying invested because there's mystery to it, and then the second one
they
you
take
just
that away,
you just don't really have much.
No, that's really I think honestly, if it had some sort of emotional anchor or anchoring character or something to pull it together, I think it would be pretty darn good, like pretty darn close to perfect. I love it.
But shout out to the time that Overwatch is played like 3 times on screen in the movie. You hear diva voice lines.
I wanted to die just a little bit inside.
And he's playing Overwatch on his MacBook. He's using the trackpad.
He's playing it on a MacBook.
With the trackpad.
The trackpad.
It was the most fun I've ever.
A crushing blow.
Most fun I've ever had. And shout out to the other kid who was painting miniatures.
True.
They had good hobbies.
Wow.
Then on the 16th. We watched Mike Flanagan's Hush.
Why can't you just say his name?
Because Flanagan.
It's Mike Flanagan, yes.
Because Mike Flanagan is more fun to
We
say.
did a whole episode on his limited series Midnight Mass.
Which he wrote in this movie. No.
Yeah.
I did I
Crazy.
knew Mike Flanagan had been wanting to do I did research on Mike Flanagan for the video I did on it. And I knew he had been wanting to do Midnight Mass for like forever, but I didn't know he had directly known the name of it and stuff for so long, because in this movie the main character is a writer and she wrote Midnight Mass.
Yep.
And they talk about it sometimes and it's pretty much the exact same thing that the limited series is.
Yeah.
Because Midnight Mass was literally bouncing around in Mike Flanagan's brain for like 30 years.
Shout out to Mike Flanagan, though. He made one of my favorite limited series like ever, and
very, very
he
fun.
directed a very solid small scale horror movie. Hush.
I did not expect it. Like I was expecting, because it's very like, it was pretty low budget, pretty small scale. There's like 5
You can
people
tell,
in the
yeah.
movie.
You can tell it's low budget, yeah.
So I was kind of like worried. I was like, oh, is this going to be any good? My second Mike Flanagan experience. And I actually loved it way more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
And got really into its small scales and stakes. Way more than I thought I would. So I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I really like that it's got its short run time. And
Yeah.
like it keeps very nice, very good.
It's a small movie, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's not doing too much crazy stylistically. I think Mike Flanagan's definitely grown a lot. I think Netflix miniseries has helped him, like the Haunting series.
Flex his creative muscles a little more,
like,
yeah.
And Doctor Sleep and stuff helped him get a little bit more stylistic, which
Yeah,
I
exactly.
appreciate.
No, this one does feel a lot more vanilla in a lot of its creative choices than Midnight Mass does, which is the only other thing I've seen of his. But yeah, I said that it has a really gripping rhythm to it, and I'll stand by that. It's got a. I know a lot of people are actually complaining about how the story beats are paced out, but I think it was really engaging. I liked it a lot.
I was consistently engaged with it. I gave it 4.5 stars. Like I don't have that many complaints.
I
about
initially gave it a 9 out of 10, but I thought about it a little bit more, and a lot of the ending stuff comes off a little weird to me.
Yeah, I mean,
And-
it's a week. 9 out of 10 for me.
A little weak sauce, but like I gave it an 8 out of 10. I still think it's great.
Yeah, just for how invested I was in everything.
Yeah.
I personally gave it that. Then we watched on the 16th The House.
First-
And I had heard like nothing about this. I didn't even heard of it, and then Robbie was like, "Oh, look, it's The House." First 2022 movie.
Yeah, first 2022 release that we've watched.
And oh my gosh, it's good.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Why is it so good? It could have easily been crap.
It's like it's a stop motion animation thing that's like an anthology about this house, exploring different facets of like house and identity.
I was about
and
to say,
self.
I mentioned in my review of this that it reminded me a lot of Remy Week's His House, that film.
Somehow it manages to be really, really funny and really, really creative, really, really kind of creepy and disturbing at parts.
It's so like it's not as scary as I thought it would be, but it's so unnerving would be a better word for it. Yeah.
Like, dude, the end of the second one.
Oh my gosh.
Is so like
So creepy. Oh my gosh.
so like unnerving and kind of disturbing for no
It is,
reason.
yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, this is fantastic. And I think the second one is by far the best one.
Yeah, I said in my review that 2 was easily my favorite. I said it tapped into an energy of domestic terror that I can't seem to get enough of. Every time I see something with it, a similar vibe to that.
Like when he crawled out, I was like, oh,
That's cinema, baby.
oh, it's so good. And it has a roach singing or a beetle singing and dancing scene. Like,
What's so odd about this movie is all of the segments are really distinctly different, like tonally, but not in the way I expected.
Yeah.
Like the third one is like really understated in so many ways that the first 2 aren't, but like it's still just as potent. It's really
like,
weird.
Like the first one is so much less like horror and so much more like dark,
it feels like
movie.
a fairy tale. The first one does.
Yeah.
It feels like an old fairy tale is what it feels like.
but it still even taps into some of its like darker like creepy filmmaking, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
And like,
Man, the camera work
so
was
good.
fantastic on all
and
of
it
these.
looks fantastic. The lighting
The
is
character.
so good.
I said the character design might be perfect in this, and I'll stand by that. But yeah, no. The House
Though I'm gonna be honest,
streaming on Netflix. Watch it.
I know all of the little cats were right, but I would have just punched Jen in the face.
Wow.
Would have wiped her out. Taken her down.
Wow. Yeah, no, The House.
Thrown her obsidian back at her.
It blew me out of the water. I adore it. I actually put it in my all-time favorites list.
No, like
It's so much up my alley.
So good, and
Yeah.
I did not. I didn't even know anything about it.
Maybe we will do an episode on it sometime so we can cover all the segments.
So shout out to The House.
Shout out to The House. Go stream it on Netflix, please, because
Right.
I have a feeling it probably won't get a physical release. which is sad.
I'm not me crying at midnight mass in the house, not getting physical releases, probably.
Yeah. I hope Nexus Studios, the animation studio that worked on this, releases another stop motion something in the future, because this rocked.
It was so good.
Yeah.
I loved it. Then last night, deep into the night,
Whoa.
we watched or rewatched Old for the first time outside of theaters.
What? Not in a theater, but Micah Shyamalan's Old deserves a theater.
You know, when it first released, there was like a bumper before from Shyamalan about like the theater experience.
Okay, but I will say this even more so than any of his other movies does, I think, deserve a theatrical viewing just because of the way the sound is mixed.
I'm so sad that people don't like this movie.
I know, right? Old. We did an
so
episode
good.
on it.
I know we did.
And I've
but,
actually...
it's only grown in my liking.
Exactly, yeah. I've actually grown to love it even more since we did our episode on it.
It's so much fun, and it's so effective. And, like, I almost cried last night while watching it. The emotional beats hit so well this time around.
I swear, this film... I said in my review, I said it's... intimate and beautiful, but it's also very uncomfortable and alienating at the same time.
Yeah.
And I don't understand how Shyamalan achieved this.
And it's super goofy, but so is every single Shyamalan project ever.
And
he is the goofiest director I think ever working ever.
He's got such an elegant flair to so many of his movies,
and that's what makes it so goofy. Is he's a really elegant director, but such a goofy writer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because something like Old, it's a beach that makes you old. That's a dumb premise.
There are so many elements of Old that is just so stupid, but it works so well. Ooh, sorry.
Mike is thumping around.
It works so well in the movie, and like I, it's so good. I felt weird about upping my rating. I don't know why, because like it worked really well. I might up it next time I watch it. I loved it.
I was about to say there are only a few elements of its screenplay that don't work for me, but I think from a filmmaking side, I think it's pretty much technically perfect. The editing, the audio mixing, the sound editing, the camera work, cinematography, storyboarding, editing. It's a marvel of a film. I love it.
Shout out to the fact that it gave my girlfriend a panic attack in theaters.
Yay! Yeah, no, Old is fantastic at what it's trying to do, and if that's not your vibe, then you're not gonna like Old. But I think it's great for what it is. So.
Yeah, it's like an anxious, alienating but familiar drug trip.
It's so surreal. But like at the same time, you feel so removed from everything. It's weird. It's a weird movie.
I love its camera movements, especially how it stays so flowy throughout.
I forgot how good the cinematography and framing was in this.
Right, and it's such weird framing. Everything is framed. So again, like you're there but forced to watch.
Yeah.
Like you are there but an omnipresent, like...
I was about to say, it's not like you want to watch what's happening. It's like you are forced to watch what's happening.
Yeah, no, I
think
think the best way to describe it is the camera feels... And I know, and now I'm like dissecting it again. But the camera feels like a character that is you, and you're forced to kind of experience this beach. You are trapped with everybody.
Yeah, no, it feels suffocating. And in a great way. I like Old. Yeah. I love Old. It's one of my favorite Shyamalan movies. Really, its only contender is like, I guess, The Sixth Sense. What else has he done that I really liked?
Nothing. You don't really like his movie.
I like The Sixth Sense a lot, though. Split's fun, but it's not really a... Yeah, no, everything else he's done isn't really even that close.
Just because I thought about it specifically this last time, I really just want to shout out the way it frames people to make you feel like you're there, but not like cinematically. And it looks so good. Yeah. But yeah, it doesn't like...
I don't understand how a movie...
Like half of the people are always cut off.
I was about to say, I don't understand how a movie this like uncinematic is so cinematic. I don't get it.
I love Old. I'll say it.
Old, 9 out of 10. Great movie.
Yeah, that's what we watched. That's what we recently logged.
Whoa.
And
if you can even believe it.
had a really fun like last stretch of movies.
Yeah. I was about to say we've been going on some kind of horror run for some reason. I don't know what's up.
Hey, I'm happy about it. We've seen saddeningly little horror.
It's true. But to leave you off, go watch Encanto. It's streaming on Disney Plus right now. I think its physical release is coming pretty soon, or it might even already be out.
Go watch Tragedy of Macbeth Go watch The House.
Go watch The House on Netflix. It is great.
If you do nothing else with your life, watch Encanto, Tragedy of Macbeth, and The House.
Yes.
The certified, recently logged Cinema Picks.
Cinema Picks. Wow. But yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Thank you for listening.
Hopefully Eternals next time.
Hopefully. Fingers crossed. It's a long movie. We haven't gotten around to seeing it yet. It's so long.
It's so long. And it's a Marvel movie.
It's a Marvel movie. We can leave off on that.